Vivo AM de Latino.tv con el Ricky Jackson. Now, this guy is a legend, una leyenda total de físico-culturismo 212. I'm getting a little tripped up and tricky on my Spanish right now. I'm a little burnt out, but this is the legend. Everybody knows him. Para aquellas personas que están comenzando el deporte, Ricky Jackson tiene, how many years you been at this now? 29 years? I was going to say 20. 29.
29, yes.
29 años practicando el deporte. Now, how many years are pro?
I turned pro in 2005, first show in 2006. 10 years competing as a pro.
Sí, 10 años como pro y varias presentaciones en el Mr. Olympia. How many times have you been in the Olympia stage?
7 Mr. Olympia appearances and 5 top 10s.
Wow. Una tremenda presentación este chico. Y ahora le llaman Ricky Jackson porque tus movimientos son muy cibernéticos, son more como un robot. You move like you got your little tricks and moves on the stage. And no, why'd you start posing like that?
Well, I've always kind of had a dance background.
Okay.
And so it came natural.
Yeah.
But when I saw some other guys in the industry that were doing some similar things, right away I realized, okay, this is what I can do and this is where I can kind of make my name for myself. So Russ Testo was very influential to me. I mean, a lot of people may not know that name, but he was a guy from the 80s and 90s that was getting paid basically to go and entertain the crowds at big events like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And then guys like Melvin Anthony and, of course, Darren Charles,
Yes.
Vince Taylor.
He's there. I'm still doing it, yeah.
Still doing it. One of the guys still hanging around the sport just like I am. But, we're hanging in there with the young guys.
Okay. Yeah, more than that, you're beating them still. So, yeah, that's good. So, le dio la inspiración Russ Testo, sus presentaciones en el Arnold Classic Ohio. Y Ricky dijo, yo puedo hacer eso. Le encanta porque viene sus raíces son de baile. Your background's like dancing, right? And so él se aplicó sus puntos fuertes a su presentación a la tarima y le funcionó de maravilla y ahora es un pro que no bailador, not a dancer, but, just putting a little trickster and mixter on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, I was in hip-hop. So back when rap music first started and breakdancing was still popular. And it's funny because I've always been able to incorporate breakdancing in whatever I've done, whether it's bodybuilding. Back during the days when I was in college, my fraternity, we used to do step shows. So when I was on America's Got Talent, I was able to incorporate my breakdancing there. So it's been
breakdancing and bodybuilding. Now, you don't want to break any limbs or joints because you got to bodybuild, but breakdancista y bodybuilding, físico-culturismo. Una mezcla no tan común, pero por eso le llaman Ricky Tricky Jackson. Not too unique, but that's why they call you Ricky Tricky Jackson.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah.
All right. Now, what's your next step? I know you're here working a couple of booths and stuff like that with your sponsors, but where will we see you again?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm here this weekend working with HGH.com. They've been very supportive of me over the last 4 or 5 years. Whether it's sponsoring my bodybuilding show, sponsoring me, or sponsoring my radio show. Guys, go to their website, check them out. They got some good products. But, this was good for me to be able to come here and just kind of sit back and enjoy and watch the show. And you guys reported on it. The 212 class was amazing, and it's always, a great class. And
very deep this year. Yes. Very, very deep.
They had 23, 22 athletes, and what was very interesting to me was in the first call-out today, they judged them really hard and moved them around a lot. And then at the night show, you were able to see people actually move around and move up some places, which I think is kind of exciting. Kudos to the judges.
There was a very unique calling system. We saw a lot of new faces in a very international stage. Mm-hmm. We had, from Kuwait, we had Peru, we had Italy, we had Brazil. It's just all over the United States, Canada, very unique tribe we had here.
Right. And all the guys looked really good. They stayed tight from morning to night. And the judges had their work cut out for them,
Yeah. Yeah, well, Steve Weinberger, likes to work the athletes and make them earn it. So they did that twice. But something? They got it all done in one day.
Exactly. And, that's kudos again to Tim Gardner, puts on a great production. If you guys ever get an opportunity, you want to check out one of his events. But back to your question about what's next for me, I'm kind of in a crossroads right now. My plan was to reach 30 years of competing and on the bodybuilding stage, and then I was going to walk away from that and just stick to prep coaching and appearances and that type of thing. And now they got this new division, the classic physique.
No, I remember having a conversation with Darren Charles about that about this time last year, and look what happened. And I think that's right up your alley, man, with all the funky stuff you do on stage. So you'll be able to coordinate some of those moves a little more,
right?
It kind of smooths and moves a little more with the classic physique.
Well, one of the guys that inspired me early in my career from a bodybuilding standpoint was Lee Labrada. And then I would throw Sean Ray in there as well. And these guys, they didn't do the dance things that I do, but they did a lot of different types of flowing movements and classic type posing. And I throw that in my routines now. A lot of people don't really notice it because they're more focused on the dancing elements. Okay. But I do that in my routines. And so, I've never been the biggest guy on stage. I've always, gotten as far as I have based on my shape and based on my conditioning. And I've got that small waist, wide lats and shoulders, and I think it fits perfect for the classic physique. So I'm at that point right now where I'm trying to decide whether I want to go one more year in the 212s or right away hit the road and run it and go to that classic physique next year. So
for whatever my opinion's worth, I only go to like 20 of these shows a year at least. But, I think the classic physique, obviously it's a new category. It's a launch this year. And it really hasn't found its all-star club yet. So I think it's a really good idea for any athlete right now, if they're thinking about it, give it a try. Jump in, especially, if it's an athlete with high credibility such as yourself, to really go in there and clean house, because there are some big contrasts in the pro division. Not to, talk down on anybody, but there's definitely some contrast, and definitely the skill level hasn't really, the definitive classic physique hasn't been defined yet, and we'll find that at the Olympia this year, obviously. But the same thing happened with bikini, men's physique, and over the couple of years, they found that mold.
Right, exactly. I agree with you 100%. And you've seen those divisions, like you said, they've changed a little bit from year to year until I think they finally figure out exactly what they want and the look they want for that division. So you're exactly right. This is a good time to get in there. And I don't want to say necessarily make a name for yourself in it, because I think I've already done that. But, get yourself positioned as one of the front runners early in the division. So, very much like Darren has done, and Danny Hester, and the list goes on. And the great thing about it is all these guys are at the top of that division right now are all guys that I came up with through the ranks as an amateur. So it'll be like going home almost for me. So I'm excited. So you guys stay tuned, and I'll probably make some announcement here in the next few months as to which way I'm going to go.
Well, stay tuned with Ricky Tricky Jackson. Now, in order to stay tuned, please remind us your social media.
If you want to follow me on IG, you want to go to Tricky IFBB Pro. You can also get me at Tricky Jackson IFBB Pro on Facebook. And then also you can follow me on my website for my bodybuilding show, which is www.trickyjacksonclassic.com.
Bueno, ya habló este señor veterano de físico-culturismo. We got a little saying we have here, never surrender. We say it in Spanish, so I always kind of make the guys that don't speak Spanish speak a little Spanish, because it's a little Spanish lesson, right? Okay. So, you ready? Sí. All right. Nunca te des por vencido. You got it. Never surrender. Ciao.